on your left.
Hungry?
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We've got fantastic news to share, so let's get to it. Some of the things we'll be discussing here today, guys, is we got the release date for Final Destination 6. Finally, some official plot details for Spider-Man 4 being revealed by the producer. And the jaw-dropping news that really isn't shocking. Chris Evans officially returning for Avengers Doomsday. Oh, we're going to be diving into that along with so much more. So I'm going to need you beautiful people to hit that like button, subscribe, smash that subscribe, and chatter down below your opinions on everything. Kicking things off here, let's start off with a trailer that got released just a few days ago. It's for a movie entitled The Gorge. It'll be starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller. The premise of the movie follows two expert snipers who are placed in between this crack and are given two instructions. One, do not communicate with one another, and two, do not let anything out from the gorge. It does get a little funny because then at some point they do communicate Taylor Swift style, looking like they start to fall for one another until one of them falls in between the crack and then the other has to go in and find them. Honestly, seems really cool, especially with them saying that it's like the portal to hell. That could just be an expression, or maybe it actually is the portal to hell. It'll also be coming to Apple TV on Valentine's Day, so it's something to watch at home. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I think Apple TV has a good track record. Plus, I like the cast in this premise, but throwing it off to you, are you someone that's going to be watching The Gorge? Moving on here, we got some cool horror updates that got revealed today, starting off with the release date for Final Destination Bloodline. This is the sixth and what's being called kind of the reboot for the franchise, when really that just means we're doing more movies, man. But we knew the movie would be coming out next year, but we still didn't know the exact date. Now we're being told the movie's releasing May 16th, 2025. So it'll be one of the early pre-summer movies. It is also mentioned that Tony Todd is expected to have some sort of role in the movie, and that's nice because he's been a big face of this series, and with his passing, it's nice that he was still able to be part of this franchise. But man, I cannot wait to see the first trailer for this movie because they're saying they're switching up the formula. It's not going to be your average Final Destination movie. The only other rumors that we've heard is that the possible accident in this film is either a building set on fire or a restaurant that is placed in a high-rise building that falls. Either way, it looks like a building disaster. I'm more curious about how it connects to the other movies and what this switch up of the formula will be. And another thing, what are gonna be the kills in this movie? Because that's a fun part of Final Destination and the new trauma it builds. Rumor is there is a tattoo scene that is gonna make you very scared the next time you go and get a tattoo. What are you hoping to see out of Final Destination 6? Another horror update that we got revealed today is the official title for the next Evil Dead movie. As you guys know, we are set to get two new Evil Dead films, and we just got the latest update on one of them. This one is being directed by Sebastian Van Eyck, who recently directed the film Infested that a lot of people enjoyed. His movie will be releasing in the year 2026, so I guess it's the next Evil Dead movie we got, and it is titled Evil Dead Burn. There's no word yet on how it connects to the franchise. It could just be a self-contained story like Evil Dead Rise was, but I am for sure intrigued to what the premise of this movie is. When we got the title for Evil Dead Rise, it did give us the hint that it will be set in a high-rise building, but with the title being Evil Dead Burn, yo, your guess is as good as mine on where this takes place. Burn, some people are like, oh, we're gonna take place in hell finally? That would be new and intriguing. Some people think Evil Dead Burn, is it gonna revolve around a bunch of firefighters? I don't know. Really, your theory is as good as mine on this one, but more Evil Dead, that is just a great thing. These next two Evil Dead movies wouldn't even be happening if Warner Brothers went through and put Evil Dead Rise straight to streaming, where it would have made $0, but thanks to it going to theaters, it managed to be a pretty successful movie at the box office, spawning the franchise to continue. That's always great to hear. Your thoughts on Evil Dead Burn. Bringing us now to just straight up Marvel talk, man. We've got a lot of intriguing updates in the Marvel universe, starting off with Deadpool. So Ryan Reynolds, on his interview with Andrew Garfield with Actors on Actors, he revealed what the future for Deadpool is in the MCU, and I kind of like what they're doing. So before he reveals what his future is as Deadpool, he does preface it by saying he hates being away from his wife and kids, that doing these Deadpool movies take a lot of time out of him, and so that he doesn't know if he will be doing more Deadpool-centered movies. Instead, he says this: Deadpool's a supporting character much more than he is the center. We center him sometimes because that's what they want, but you can't center him unless you take everything away from him. You have to create a situation where he's so much more the underdog. I don't think I can do that again. If he comes back, it's going to be in someone else's movie. Channing Tatum, I would happily be a fifth banana in this movie or anyone else. And there you go. That's looking like what the future of Deadpool is, according to Ryan Reynolds, who has major input on what Deadpool does. So I'm thinking this is actually the way, and I kind of dig it. While it would be obvious to make a Deadpool 4 and do something there, maybe the best thing to do is put Deadpool as a supporting character in an X-Men movie, or have some sort of team up with Spider-Man, which is what I'm putting all my money on. Whenever Tom Holland gets to Spider-Man 5 or 6, I bet your booty it's gonna be a team up with Deadpool, because just Spider-Man and Deadpool, that movie would make all the money. But him being a supporting character could make a lot of fun situations. I don't know if we're getting that Channing Tatum movie. I know he's really pushing for that, but I just don't think that's going to be happening. But I know that's going to make some people sad because they just want Deadpool to be the focus. And I get what he's saying. It's like when you do that, you set up the situation where you have to take things away from Deadpool. You have to make him depressed. You have to kill off his wife, his kids, his situation. And if you just have him a supporting character, he can just be the fun part of the movie, making fun of other characters. And even if he's PG-13, which he'd have to be if he's in a Spider-Man movie, that could still be a lot of fun if you bleep out what he says and he breaks the fourth wall about like, yeah, sorry guys, I'm censored in this one. I'd still be down with that as long as we get more Deadpool. So I'm okay with him being a supporting character and showing up in a random MCU movie here and there. He's got to show up in the next couple Avenger films, right? He'll be a supporting character there. But I toss it off to you guys. How do you feel about the future of Deadpool being more of a supporting character instead of continuing on with Deadpool 4, 5, and 6? Moving on here, I thought this was going to be the biggest story of today's side flick until we got another story. So let's get into Spider-Man 4. We had Amy Pascal, who is always the producer on these Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, finally giving us some concrete plot details about what we'll be seeing in the movie. And man, it's just nice to hear it from the official source instead of scoopers. Amy Pascal mentions here, we have to deal with the fact that he decided he was going to give up being Peter Parker and he was gonna focus on being Spider-Man because being Peter Parker was too hard. So that's what the movie is about. And funny enough, this was actually something that scoopers had mentioned. They basically said Spider-Man 4 is going to mirror a lot of what happened in Robert Pattinson's The Batman, where in that movie, Bruce Wayne didn't really exist. He was Batman most of the time, pushed himself into crime fighting, wore the suit all the time, and just let his true identity go. And it seems like that rumor was true because we have Amy Pascal here confirming it. Yeah, he doesn't want to be Peter Parker. Everyone's forgotten who that is, and he has no outside personal life, so he's just done nothing but dive into Spider-Man, being Spider-Man full time, and when he's out of the costume, he's probably sad, probably depressed, probably just waiting for the next time he can go hero. And I think that is a really cool direction, but also, what is the rest of the movie about? That's a nice theme there, but if you also have the multiverse and Null and Venom or the Spider People or it's set on Battle World, is that little theme actually going to be meaningful? Can we have time of him going, I don't want to be Peter Parker when the multiverse is dying, you know? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but right now, I actually love this direction, and it's a good place to grow, especially if we're going to the symbiote suit storyline. That's a good jumping off point for Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Let me know what you guys think about this being kind of the overall theme of the next movie. But okay, the bombshell reveal that really isn't a bombshell to a lot of people. It is now being officially said Chris Evans is going to be returning in Avengers Doomsday. The catch is, we have no idea who he's going to be playing. Now, it might seem very obvious to a couple of people out there going, go, Chris, he's obviously coming back as Captain America, duh. But we're still in the midst of the multiverse saga, and Robert Downey Jr. is not Iron Man in this movie. He is Doctor Doom. And I'm thinking Fagoli and the rest of the Marvel team are just going to keep leaning into that, where they'll bring back the original lineup of the Avengers, whether it be the Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, but they are all going to be playing evil multiverse versions of their characters, and we'll have this sort of dark Avenger team facing off against our new heroes. Because along with these articles, it's also being reported Anthony Mackie is going to be coming back as Captain America for Avengers Doomsday, and that right there, that sets up awesome storytelling. Sam Wilson, he just got the mantle from Steve, and now he's gonna have to face off against someone that looks like his mentor. Ooh, that's going to be cool. But getting back to who Chris Evans could be playing in this movie, let's go down the list. So I was thinking, Johnny Storm. That could set things up very well, because then you would have a member of the Fantastic Four going up against Doctor Doom. That makes sense. And then we would have kind of another Civil War situation where it'd be Chris Evans versus Robert Downey Jr., but this time they'd be playing completely different characters. But since Chris Evans literally just showed up as Johnny Storm in Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't think that would be as exciting. So really the only other option, and it's the one that's most commonly being spread, is Chris Evans playing Hydra Captain America. And you know what? They did kind of set that up a little bit as a throwaway joke.
Hail Hydra.
And with the Russo brothers returning back, they want that full circle moment. The Russo brothers were great at that, is bringing back an old joke from a previous movie and actually making it mean something later on. So that would be kind of cool, and it'd be crazy to see just Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., two evil baddies, and them going up against the rest of the Avengers. Like, that would be awesome. But we also have to talk about the other side about this, because while I'm interested to see it, even though it's not that big a surprise, there are a lot of people pushing back going, I just don't care anymore. Who cares? Do people still get hyped for this Marvel secret cameo nonsense? Let's just end the multiverse stuff and jump into the X-Men and stop relying on nostalgia bait. I'm not gonna say those people are wrong. There's definitely a part of me where it doesn't feel that exciting, especially since we know this information now, and this movie's still not coming out for a good 2 years. By the time the movie hits, who knows how excited we are then. But there is something to be said of people just being burnt out on this. There are days where this news would have broke the internet and it would have been everything everyone's talking about. And now it's been already, like 2 hours, and the excitement of this announcement dying down. I'm going to be very interested come after Secret Wars, how Marvel can keep the ball rolling and not rely on cameos, Easter eggs, and things like that, and just try to get people excited for good storytelling. James Gunn says that's what he's planning with the DCU, but we'll see if that's true. But this is where I throw it off to you guys. Chris Evans officially coming back. Who do you think he's playing, and who do you think else is coming back? You think they're getting that original Avengers lineup and making them evil? I wouldn't mind seeing that. But that is all movie news we're currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of my day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.